Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches Retro Review. Tonight, by special request, we are reviewing Twister! The original, not Twisters, the new movie that is coming out imminently. I don't think I really have plans to watch.
That's so much information.
Well, you know. Anyway, this is a special request by Lady Catherine de Bourgh, Jeff, the God of Biscuits. Insert clip here.
So then the Romans came along with gods that they'd borrowed from the Greeks. They invaded Greece and conquered them and stole all their gods and renamed them with Roman names. Because the Roman gods before that were kind of crap, you know. Jeff, the God of Biscuits.
So, first things first, shout out again to Jeff, God of Biscuits. I don't know your actual name. Maybe it's Jeff. I don't think it is. But that doesn't matter. Thank you so much for your support and your patience as we are getting to this very exciting movie.
Yes.
From a blast from the past.
Woo! Blast from the past.
Yeah. Second thing second, shout out to the rest of our Patreon supporters. $5 a month gets you ad-free early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties. I was on my edge of my seat for, you know,
You were on your edge?
on my edge of my seat.
Were you edging yourself?
Not your edge of... Yeah, to this movie. Gooning out to Twister.
Carrie always... eyes were really popping.
They were really popping.
So,
that
you know,
is true.
That was, undeniable.
No, but he drives a black car, Avaryl. Oh, anyway.
It's not allowed.
No. Third things third. Make sure to subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Letterboxd. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, on our video podcast. You can also get it as an audio podcast if you prefer. And all of those wonderful things.
Yeah.
Very exciting stuff. We appreciate. Make sure to tell everybody. Movie Bitches. Subscribe.
So, Twister.
Yeah.
From 1997. Wait, is that right?
6, I thought. 96.
Okay. So, Twister from 1996.
Yeah.
Directed by Jan de Bont.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Jan de Bont.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Famously the cinematographer of Die Hard and a lot of other things, but started as a cinematographer, directed Speed.
Which in France was called La Vitesse. Or at least it should have been, but in fact it was called Speed.
All of these Eddie Izzard jokes.
I know, right? It's
Love
fun.
that.
And a couple of other, big action-y things. We'll talk about a bit of why this movie is sort of a last of its kind in many ways.
Well, it's not because they're remaking.
No, well, yeah, we're not talking about Twisters. Did you see who directed it?
The new one?
Yeah.
No.
So it's the guy who directed Minari.
Oh.
That
yeah.
drama?
Yeah.
That low-budget drama. And I'm like, they're doing it again.
They're doing it again.
like...
Oh, you had a hit at Sundance in your indie film after you made one commercial and a short film out of film school, and now here's a big live action, or a big action...
Huge budget action movie.
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean...
You know why?
I haven't seen it. I can't say. Maybe he'll surprise us. But what is this formula? It's not working.
It's not working. You know why? Is because there's no such thing as a small mid-budget movie anymore.
Cut your teeth kind of movie. Anyway. I was like, I wonder who they got to direct the new Twister movie. Oh.
I think the big thing for me that turned me off more than anything, aside from like the scenes in the trailer that I'd seen just being complete ripoffs of this one, and I'm like, but...
If you're gonna... Because it's not a remake.
No.
It's a reimagining.
Oh, sure.
Because it's the same, but in
modern day,
right?
and I'm sure the story isn't we got to get Dorothy into the cloud.
Why? They already did it.
I'm saying I'm sure it's not that.
No, it is. I saw it. Did you watch the trailer?
I blocked it out.
There's like a Dorothy, and they have the sensors, and they're like, I guess they're updated sensors? I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
But this time...
It's Glenn Powell. And I need him to take a fucking break, dude.
Among other things.
This time, he's the love interest, but he's also a social media influencer.
No.
That's his job. That's why he chases tornadoes. It looked pretty dumb, actually, like in a maybe stupid fun way, because he's like, you can't run from your fears, you gotta ride them.
You don't face your fears. You ride them.
And then
Yes,
he's like
I did see
driving his truck through a storm, and I was like, this is giving Hurricane Heist, like Sharknado.
I will say the beginning of this gave Hurricane Heist.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised at how often that comes up.
I know. Fine, I'll use my AMC money to go see it.
I'm not saying it's going to be great, but
no,
I
don't think it will be.
Stupid, like
Who's
truly dumb.
the female lead? No one.
I mean, I vaguely recognized her face, but
It's not Sydney Sweeney, at least.
it's not Sydney Sweeney, at least.
Why do you have a giant wrench?
My mom gave me that. She said, no matter how broken something is, there's always a way to fix it.
I can't.
Glenn Powell is fucking everywhere, and I'm like, please stop.
Will you stop?
Will you stop?
Will you stop?
But yes, 1996
We're
Twister.
talking about Twister, yes, starring Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton, Carrie Elways, Jami Gertz, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Alan Ruck, a smattering of 90s character actors that you go, I remember them from that USA TV show.
Mm-hmm. Including Aunt May.
Yes.
Meg. Who we finally realized I remember otherwise, most specifically from True Blood.
As Grandmama.
Yeah.
You will go to hell for this.
All right, same to you. Bye now.
And she was in like How to Make an American Quilt and
Yeah, she's in a ton of stuff.
Fried Green Tomatoes.
Right.
She was in like those movies that they also don't make anymore,
No.
which is a shame.
It is a real
Because people
shame.
could really, use their acting skills and learn how to act.
That's the other aspect of it. That's where we started, right? The mid-budget,
right?
Where
lower stakes.
Stakes.
It was like, oh, well, that was it.
And also, maybe you don't have to be the lead in it, right? You're not opening a fucking film in the box office. You're just,
You're the fun side character
friend.
that
Exactly.
you remember and go, I'm going to watch every fucking thing they're in.
That. Anyway.
Where are all the Helen Rucks? Where are they?
In a severe lightning storm, you want to grab your ankles and stick your butt in the air.
He's right. If you're going to get hit, it's the safest orifice.
Yeah, I like getting hit by lightning once. See what it's like.
Trying to get work.
Trying to get work.
And Glenn Powell has taken every fucking role instead. Anyway, I'll stop.
Will you stop?
So, for me, watched this movie all the time.
Yeah.
Our family just was like, it was Twister, Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
similar vibes,
Yeah.
Fabulous blonde coon.
Smart, like scientist, driven.
Yep, it's a science adventure of sorts, right? Things go wrong, the power of nature, life finds a way.
Yeah.
All that.
Arugula, all of that.
Yeah.
Big action, summary, blockbuster, popcorn movie. I remember both of those movies.
Yeah.
I had to have my mom take me out of the theater.
Did you ever return?
No.
It was like...
I said, Mom, I need to leave this movie. This is too scary for me.
At least you knew your own limits.
Yeah, I was, her father gets sucked into a tornado in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yes.
Scarring.
It's very dramatic. With a movie like this, the simpler the plot, the better.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't have a plot.
No.
It is simply interpersonal drama and chasing storms.
Yep.
Like there's not a big
Yeah.
overarching...
For reasons, couple gets reunited after being split up.
Yep.
They have to go
They're
on...
adrenaline junkies.
Yep, they go on a storm chase to get something in a tornado. End of story.
Are they going to get that something in the tornado? Or
Are they going to reunite their love by the power of nature? You have to watch and find out. Spoiler alert, they do.
They do.
I guess a spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't watched Twister, where have you been?
What are you doing
but
with
also,
your life?
It was a fun watch.
Well, so the reason I say this is sort of the last of its kind.
Okay, yeah.
It was minimal CG.
Yes.
It was the last that I could think of, and maybe not the very last, but big budget, action, spectacular, practical sets, real hail, like there was so many tangible things.
Yes.
Help me!
Joe, the pack's wasted! It's over!
What is wrong with you? We can still do this!
That to me it so holds up to the test of time.
Yeah.
Better than, that fucking cartoon tree that flies at their car.
Ooh, that did look bad.
Whoa! You know what I mean? But then they, when they drive through that practical house set.
Yes.
Looks fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and
it
it
does.
still looks awesome.
Yeah.
And it'll look awesome in 50 years. It'll look awesome,
Yeah.
you know?
We're going in!
I'm so sad that they have disappeared and that they don't spend time on sets. I feel like a broken record, but like, give me some reality. And then the actors act better because they're not looking at fucking blue screen.
Yeah, it's not just all fake. And then it doesn't look fake.
Yes.
And then when it doesn't look fake, it feels real. And when it feels real, you are emotionally invested.
And you get lost.
Exactly.
Wrapped up.
It's a fantasy that actually works, at least for me. Some people, I guess, growing up in this day and age, all they know is CGI, and maybe they don't. Maybe it works.
Maybe they don't have that like weird thing in their brain.
It just all feels like a video game.
Yeah.
Whenever you see these kinds of movies, to me, it feels like a video game, and the plotting feels like a video game.
Yeah.
Where it's just like.
And you know what? Honestly, I feel like that's rude to video games at this point because they
They've gotten
spend
better.
more time
They do.
on their plot
And more
script.
budget on making it look really good.
So maybe we need to change that phrasing.
You're right.
Written by Michael Crichton.
Yeah.
And his wife at the time.
Right.
Anne-Marie Martin. It is her only writing credit.
Wow.
And I think the script kicked around for a while.
Okay.
I think it was one of those so-and-so was attached to direct it with this person. And it really bounced around. But I was excited to hear that Jan de Bont.
Yeah, Jan de Bont.
That Jan de Bont really went to bat for Helen Hunt and said this is why it's going to work.
Yeah.
She's spunky. She can boss people around. Yeah. She's natural and realistic.
Can I drive?
No!
Then would you?
Whoa!
She's going to carry this movie. And the studio was like, you're crazy, bro. We don't know what you're talking about. Because she was just doing like Mad About You at the time. And he said no. And they made him audition a bunch of people. And he was like, Helen Hunt is starring in this movie.
And she does make this movie. And she gets top billing.
Yes, she does.
And she earned it.
She really does. I think the standout, because we all knew, right? We all knew Helen Hunt's fucking great. Mm-hmm. And we all know that, like, Bill Paxton's great.
Yeah.
I think for me, this watch, the standout, Jami Gertz.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
Cow. I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.
I always liked her.
I always liked
movie.
her, but watching it back now without the, child lens of like, no, I want Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton to be together. Get out of here, lady.
Sure.
No, they're supposed to be together because the movie says they're supposed to be together. The movie's telling me they're supposed to be together. Get out of here. Yes, she left. Good. Now they can kiss. Watching it now,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, this could have been a nothing part. An absolute zero of a part.
Yeah.
She's used as an exposition dumpster.
Yes.
And she does it beautifully. She takes it beautifully.
How?
You see, Melissa, it's like this. These sensors go up the funnel.
What is it?
Wind velocities, flow asymmetries. We could learn more in 30 seconds than I have in the past 30 years. Get a profile of a tornado for the first time.
And what will that do?
If we knew how a tornado really worked, we could design an advanced warning system.
Aren't there already tornado warnings?
If we can get this new information, we can increase warning time to 15 minutes.
How do you get it in the tornado?
Well, you got to get in front of the tornado and put it in the damage path.
And she really is not annoying.
No.
Like
You're right.
This part could be written like, oh, this fucking...
Well, but also I think
this uptight bitch.
Yeah,
like, it could have been something else.
Yes.
And she brings so much reality and like 3 dimensions to it. And you are endeared to her.
Yes. I think in part because in some ways she is all of us.
Right. Oh,
where she's constantly wide-eyed and just like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Where's my truck? There it is.
Melissa? And she does it great.
All of her reactions are appropriate.
Yeah.
Like you're never
she's like, you guys are crazy. You're driving a truck into a tornado.
Yeah.
And then that truck fell 5 feet in front of me while I was driving your truck. And now you're going to get into that truck and drive it into another tornado? Are you mad?
Yes.
And yes, they are, but it's for science.
It's for science. It's for the good of man.
Yeah.
But it could have easily been... And this works in that movie, but it could have easily been Parent Trap, Stepmom. Oh my God, we're camping and she sucks.
This is Meredith Blake.
Hi.
She can't do anything.
Or Ashley Bartlett Bacon.
Exactly.
Ashley Bartlett Bacon. I am Peter's fiance.
a much different part.
I
And
agree.
and I'm happy to report that she fucking nails it. And her hair is glorious.
It's true.
It's really flowing. It
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah.
She gets some
And
of the
she's
best
calm
lines.
and mature.
She's
and adult.
emotionally mature.
Yeah.
Don't do this now, please.
Sooner or later,
Please.
it ended. We both know that. The funny thing is, I'm not that upset. What does that mean?
And I'm not even that upset. What does that tell us?
What does that tell us? Julie, I have to go. We've got cows. Like, she has some of the best lines.
Some of the best lines.
You know, when you used to tell me that you chased tornadoes, deep down I always just thought it was a metaphor.
He did not marry you for your penis, or she did
Not marry you for your penis.
Well, not just for
Not
your penis.
not just for it. Yeah.
She did not marry your penis. Oh, okay, all right. She didn't only marry your penis.
But also not to say that Helen Hunt doesn't give great reaction face. She is doing a lot of listening.
Yes.
Reacting and listening.
Yes.
And having just rewatched the 6-hour A&E Pride and Prejudice.
Is Helen Hunt in that?
No, but I'll get to my
I was
point.
like, what?
Happy to report it's still the best. But to me, it's still perfect. It's still
it's great. It's
perfection.
Great. It's great.
There's so much listening.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see a lot of times we don't see the person who's talking. We see the person who's reacting.
Yeah.
And ooh, does it work?
Yeah.
And ooh, is it great?
Yeah.
So and I just
No, and she did. She gave great face. You could tell her reactions would say one thing, but her face would say the other, right? And you're like, oh, I know what she's emoting and telling me. And there's depth, there's visual storytelling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just don't know. And the camera lingers.
Yep.
Right? And then we start off when we meet, you know,
we have the big dramatic opening.
She's
tragic
a child.
backstory.
Tragic father ripped out of her hands.
The movie is about trauma.
And then, you know, cut to boom. Later, he wants a divorce to get remarried.
She's stalling on signing the papers.
Yep. So there's, you know, okay, tension. We get it quickly.
Yep.
And it's chaos.
Their
we're
whole
on
team.
this base camp and crazy storms. Ooh, big event, turn of the century.
Right,
it's
right.
the biggest thing in the past 30 years. And
Introducing character actor.
Yes.
They don't have
Philip Seymour Hoffman doing a lot.
doing so much and all of it.
Dusty, why don't you explain to Melissa why you are the way you are? Come on.
I can't say I liked it.
No.
I didn't dislike it.
I like that I didn't like it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He wasn't likable. That's fine.
That's fine.
He's cuckoo banooners and kind of gross.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine. But also kind of nice.
Like
He's not a complete.
He's not like a total villain. He's
No.
not driving a black minivan like some sort of corporate villain. Before we rewatched this, we were trying to remember
why they were the bad
I was like,
guys.
all I remember is black. They dressed in black and had black cars, and they were bad. And that's all I could parse. And then
And that's pretty much all that there is.
there's just their corporate sellouts. That's it.
Yeah, they're doing it for something, not for the science. He says something. It wasn't even.
It's
for the money, not for the
I
science.
guess.
We all started out in the same lab, and Jonas went out and got himself some corporate sponsors. He's in it for the money, not the science.
And then part
Is
of
there
me
a
just
lot of
kept
money
being-
in storm chasing?
Right? And I was like, if they found a way to get the resources to determine the science, to find a better warning system,
Right.
does it matter? If the ultimate goal is to get a better warning system, maybe then it's owned by this company, by the Weather Channel? They never said the corporate sponsors either.
No, it was just they're in
No,
black
there was
cars.
like a
They're
Pepsi
bad.
sign on the black car.
Well, no, our ragtag group of people were
They
drinking
used
all the
Pepsi.
Pepsis.
That's true.
It was like Madam Web.
That does sound like me.
Pepsi fucking everywhere.
The pea comes off of the sign and swooped into the tornado. That'll be in the new one.
Okay, of course.
Of course.
We got cows here.
We got cows.
That's great. Cow.
Cow.
Another cow. I think that was the same
That's
cow.
the same cow.
Another cow.
Actually, I think that was the same one.
Which is funny to me because I was looking it up and they reused the animation for the cow. It's the same animation from Jumanji. I don't know why this keeps coming up.
Well, I would never put myself in a position to be Jumanji.
No, I'm not afraid of board games. I'm afraid of getting Jumanji'd.
Are we into Jumanji? Is Jumanji coming out?
I'm talking about the original Jumanji.
Jumanji. The zebra, like, flying back into the game or whatever. It's the same animation. And once I saw it, I can't unsee it.
Wow,
I was
they
like,
just made it a cow.
Jumanji.
they just made it a cow. They didn't have to change the colors.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't remember that.
Okay.
I only saw Jumanji once or twice.
I watched the shit out of Jumanji.
It scared me. I saw it too young.
It was very scary. Obsessed. It's where my Bonnie Hunt obsession began.
Ooh, that reminds me, during our viewing party, well, first of all, Bonnie Hunt, yes, of course.
Always.
Secondly, we came up with great drag names, maybe for sisters, drag sisters.
Drag sisters, Bonnie and Helen Hunt.
Love it.
Sisters.
Sisters, there were never such devoted sisters.
Yes, I like it a lot.
Never such devoted sisters.
And you're the cunts?
Yeah.
Like on your mailbox?
Yes, I love it.
What were we talking about?
Jumanji.
So anyway, no, I watched Jumanji a lot because, partially because,
Ron
the only
knows.
time I've ever won something in a raffle was they were doing a raffle at a screening of Jumanji at our local movie theater.
Okay.
And I won the board game of Jumanji.
Oh.
I did not get sucked inside.
Oh,
but it
thank
was
God.
fabulous. It had that like red 3D where you put like the red foam over something, you can read it.
Oh, yeah.
Or the film,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like whatever.
Like
the
3D
glasses, holographic, whatever. So you'd like move it to read stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's fun.
It wasn't made of wood and wasn't, but I won it in a blind raffle.
Wow.
Jumanji. Yes.
Oh.
Cows.
A blind, like, auction?
No, it was just like you bought tickets. We read your number.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
Like I didn't do anything personally other than buying the tickets.
Sure.
Succeed.
No, that's like winning. To me, that's when people are like, oh, I won it at an auction. And I'm like, you didn't win it. You bought it.
You bought it.
You decided to pay the most for it. It's not winning.
No, I didn't bid on the Jumanji board game.
Okay.
Anyway, yes. So, I mean, essentially, I think this movie on paper is just a big spectacle, right? But because this cast, specifically Helen Hunt, Jami Gertz, and Bill Paxton, really ground it and make you care about these people that you should be like, you guys are fucking morons. I don't know. Maybe if you die, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like someone else playing that part, you'd be like, I don't know, just get eaten by the tornado.
Sure. Yes.
But they bring such a reality
you really
and a humanity to it.
Well, especially like it's so stupid because they're in the middle of a tornado and you're like, you cannot pause and have this dramatic, zoomed in, deep-hearted conversation. But we need it. We needed it because it gives the heart, the dire, she's so tormented by this PTSD.
Yeah.
Trauma. It's a movie about trauma.
That it's driven her entire life.
Yeah.
You've never seen him miss this house and miss that house and come after you.
There's something more to live for, him. And that's when she knows.
Killing yourself won't bring your dad back. Sorry he died, but it was a long time ago. You gotta move on. Stop living in the past and look at what you got right in front of you.
I did look it up, and so they show a clip from the Judy Star is Born, the 1957, and they show a clip from The Shining at the drive-in.
Yeah.
They're both Warner Brothers.
Okay.
And this was Warner Brothers. I think it was like Universal WB together.
It did say that.
But
I mean, whatever.
Those movies were also dope, because I was like, those are some top tier movies to get a clip
Getting
for your
those
movie.
clearances is gonna be hard.
It's funny watching stuff now.
Was Psycho?
Was
on Universal.
But it was on the bill, but they didn't actually show it.
They didn't
clips.
show it.
They just showed
I was just wondering, like, could they, because they put it there, you could easily decide what you put on
which
later.
one. Yeah. It's interesting, like, watching older movies back, things that definitely wouldn't get cleared now. Like, he's wearing, like, a Bugs Bunny t-shirt and a Tasmanian devil. Exactly. But, like, I don't even think they would necessarily let that fly today. Or maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like people in movies are, like, wearing band t-shirts that I recognize. Or wearing, like, where it gives the character, more personality that you go,
Yeah.
oh, they like that? I like that, you know? It's interesting. Like you see a lot more Mickey Mouse stuff.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, you know, like it's a telephone in the background or whatever, like just random like set pieces. Doesn't even have to be a t-shirt of more personalized, specific things.
Well, I think set design in general is completely unpersonalized of late for the most part.
Yeah.
You know?
Everything looks like an Airbnb.
It does. Because it probably is.
It's like dressed enough to look like someone doesn't live there, but
like
it's an Airbnb. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it just feels like an
That
Airbnb
sort of
or like a
cozy-
Pinterest board, you know.
Ish, yeah.
But it wasn't like someone actually lived there.
No, I miss that kind of like cozy, cluttered. I just rewatched Bridget Jones and like her apartment is like cluttered and cozy and like, oh, I want to live there or whatever. And I'm like, anyone but you know.
Well, he looked like a serial killer, but
crudité plates and mansions with empty walls, you know. Remember the house in Australia was like...
Oh, yeah. Empty. Nothing. Because it was probably an Airbnb.
It's probably an Airbnb.
Or, you know, whatever. An event rental space.
Right.
You know?
Anyway.
But even his apartment, I mean, obviously was...
Aside from the giant wrench.
Why do you have a giant wrench?
It felt like an Airbnb that they just made it seem... And they're like, here's an ATM with a chain around it. Like, why? What is this telling me?
Still
Who
don't know
lives
what that...
here?
Still don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means. I know what it means if he like has this weird, creepy van with a TV setup that goes directly into a little megaphone that's blasting music. The fucking...
Oh, all their cars were their homes in this.
Yes.
In Twister. Back to Twister.
Yeah.
So yes, they have their whole caravan and every car has its own personality. And every character has a light personality. You don't need all of their backstories. You don't need to know.
No.
Alan Ruck's the map guy.
Don't fold the maps. I didn't fold the map.
Got it. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
But we still love him. We're still like, yeah, Alan Ruck, you're here.
Yeah, thank God you know how to read a map and tell them what road to go down and whatever the fuck. I don't know.
What is it? Your car's around the corner down the street.
Okay, I'll go, but I'm gonna drive myself.
Honey, your car's in a tree around the corner.
Oh, well, speaking of Aunt Meg.
Yes.
I felt like this was always an iconic thing for me too. Obviously, it's a plot point, but her artwork of these whirligigs that are like twirling and winging and chiming and and I love too that like she says to Bill, "You haven't even come to see my latest work."
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, she's a lady that happened to have a bunch of these.
Right.
She makes these, or she has this
It's
guy
very-
that helps her weld them.
She doesn't weld them, but she oversees them. It was very Eartha Kitt in Ernest Scared Stupid. And
Very
I was like,
that.
For my property! What are you doing here?
Ma'am, I'm just here to pick up all this garbage.
Got no garbage here. Only the expressions of the soul.
Yes.
Very that.
Yes.
But I loved that there was like, again.
And her house seemed lived in and beautiful and warm and
And I remember vividly this steak and eggs scene. I don't know why, but I did.
Certain inserts, you know?
Yeah. Right, them cooking and the eggs frying, and it just felt like a home and
they,
a vibe.
They're all in the same scene together, and they hold on. You know, I'm sure they did long takes.
Yeah.
So you feel the camaraderie.
Right, and also though you get more of her. This is at least the most stuck-upness of her. Right, she's like, I don't want to eat this, and Bill Paxton, I want that.
I want that.
Right, so.
Oh, I want that.
Different. Oh, the personalities are different. They don't meld.
But she's not going, oh my
No.
God.
No.
It wasn't like too much.
I'm a vegetarian. We didn't have that.
It's just the face.
It's just the
all
face.
in the face.
And it's also often just a lot of shock of like,
oh, this is different.
Yep, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of chaos.
When you said you chased twisters, I thought it was
a metaphor.
She really was like stealing every single second.
Yes. You know who, I mean, she's great. I don't need to recast her.
No, absolutely
but
not.
I guess maybe what I will say is she was giving some Sally Field vibes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think Sally would probably not be the right choice because I think she would have been too histrionic.
Yes.
Please?
Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't
touched me. I have to go.
Yes, honestly, yes.
I mean, I love her, but I think it would have been too much.
Yeah, but yes, they have to save Aunt Meg from this house set is amazing. Yeah. It looks like straight out of the Universal tour. Like, yes. You could, and then the floor falls.
And the TV's coming at you.
Are we going to say, there's a lot of dogs in peril, but they're all okay.
And the horses they show us later
but they're all okay. And the chickens, I think, made it too.
They can fly. They're too light.
Where'd you get all this beef? Do you see my cows up front?
Oh!
Where'd you get all this beef?
Did you see my cows out front?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Just personality.
Yeah.
That's what really I miss so much.
Yeah.
Movies like this and Jurassic Park too, right?
Oh yeah.
Laura Dern and like they're oozing personality. Yeah. You're like
lately I realized why I think Fall Guy was so almost there.
Okay.
I feel like it was a sacrifice of the strike. I feel like the script didn't ever get fixed. They had a, basic whatever, and then they didn't ever...
They never punched it up. They never tweaked it.
They didn't punch it up. They didn't tweak it.
But you know what other thing I think is really a big problem these days? Is that they like cut the budgets.
Yeah.
And yet everyone's getting paid millions of dollars. I don't know, whatever. Like find some room, but...
Rearrange some things.
Get
honestly, in the kitchen.
Yeah. But they don't have a lot of writers on sets anymore.
It's a problem.
And it's a problem because it's like, you need someone to be there and be like, I don't know if this is working.
Right.
Let's
this
rework it
sense.
On the day. But no, Disney is the worst where they're like, oh, it's already in previs. We've CGI'd roughly all of it, all of the shots. Nothing is left up to choice. Nothing can be changed on the day. Everything has to be fit into this exact time schedule.
Awful.
And there's no room for creativity, for on the fly, for
problem solving.
Problem solve on the ground and make it work and make it something different and better than it could have ever been because we didn't know.
But this set looks great.
Looks so great. So memorable.
Good. So good. And you feel like that house is going to collapse.
Yes, absolutely.
You're there.
Yeah.
Because it's real wood and it's this and it's that and all of the stuff. You feel it and you're going, you guys are nuts, but you got to save Aunt Meg.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, it's a CGI house. They'll be fine.
Right. The stakes feel so much lower when it just doesn't feel real.
Yeah. Anyway, they are chasing the big one. They're chasing the F5.
The finger of God.
What would that be like?
The finger of God.
Carrie always sadly demises
his hubris.
His hubris.
They say first of all, they give him the tip. They say you got to anchor it. It's not heavy enough.
Yeah.
It'll just knock it over before it can get censored up. And he goes, I'm not going to listen to you guys.
Yeah.
And then they say you have to be careful because it could shift and then you're going to be dead. And they're like, I'm not going to listen to you. And then the driver, this was really the bleak part, right? Because he's just like following orders.
The
he's
whole
a good
time
German.
he keeps being like,
maybe we should listen. They wouldn't lead us astray into harm's way. Like,
right.
We should probably listen. No.
Hey, I know you can hear me. Turn around now. Get out of there.
And then he gets just Final Destination.
Oh, yeah. At least it was quick.
Yeah. Carrie always, I guess, has to be stuck in the car in the hurricane before then it explodes. Next to his dead partner.
That explosion felt personal.
Personal and also the fakest of most of them.
Personnel.
Oh, it looked terrible. But it felt like the tornado was specifically
Yeah. You gonna try and get up inside me? I don't think so.
So anyway, they've tried all the Dorothys and they keep failing and they keep failing.
Right.
But this one, they figured it out because they put the little tin can.
Yeah, she sees Aunt Meg's art.
Yep. It all is connected.
Yeah.
Just takes a little bit of time. Just a little bit of that extra effort.
Yep.
And they also anchor it in the car because...
Right.
Luckily, his
the first one got knocked right over by a tree and it wasn't getting taken up anyway. And so they said, okay, great. We're going to cruise control this shit right into the tornado. And they have the little whirligigs on top of the little sensors.
Yeah.
Now, why? I still don't know. And it doesn't matter. The answer is because it's a movie.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they set it on cruise control sooner, farther away?
Maybe
at a slower speed, but then set it to go and it just...
I feel like after all the things that truck went through, the alignment was probably fucked.
Okay, fair. Love that.
that tree that ran over them. They definitely need to get their tires
They broke
rotated.
an axle or something. For sure, there's no way that's driving straight for
Through
a long period of
cornfield.
time through a cornfield. Fair. Great. Really good. I love that.
Great.
Okay.
So anyway, this to me was the most iconic thing that I remembered. They are running through the barn. Oh my God.
Oh my God, who are these people?
These crazy people have sides
all
and stuff.
of these, yeah. I mean,
but I was like, it is a farm.
Yeah, who are these people? It was a little Texas Chainsaw Massacre-y, but it was a farm, and you know they had a bunch of corn. How else are they gonna fucking scythe that corn?
Exactly. But then they go to like an outhouse, the plumbing, like a
it is like a well shed
or something, and him tying that harness right quick.
Now this I appreciated because in my memory,
in my memory,
it was just a
his
belt. Yeah, it was like a belt, and he's like, we're gonna strap a belt,
and they're tied together.
Yeah.
In my mind,
Yeah.
he takes his belt off and ties it to the thing and ties them to it.
And in my mind too, he was just holding on to it with his hand. And it was like wrapped around his wrist. And I was like, that is not a thing. This is no way. So at least I appreciated that in reality, they did a little bit more work, right? He makes a harness. It wraps them around each other individually.
Yep.
They find a way. He picks the right leather. No, that one's too thin or whatever the fuck.
Sure.
He
knows.
Of course. Ask Melissa. Melinda? Melissa.
Melissa and Joe.
Yes. Yeah, I think Joe knows more about his leather
Joe
work.
knows more about the harness.
Yeah.
That was another, it was like, it's an undercurrent.
Exactly. She's a little kinkier. Melissa, not so much.
Just, he was
Vanilla,
trying to
leather.
change. He was trying to pivot his life.
Yeah.
And he couldn't.
He couldn't do it.
Get away from it. Anyway, them like,
I mean, this was also very Hurricane Heist. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Hurricane Heist came out after this, and it was a reference to this, but yes.
Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring.
In the F5, the finger of God.
such a distinct. And I always wondered.
Okay.
What, I was like, not that they would get cut in half.
Okay. Oh, but like by the
but
belt cutting into them, you mean?
Yeah, I always thought, because
I'm sure they have some sort of internal bleeding or bruising.
that movie, did you see Wing Commander?
No.
I think the only reason I saw it is because Matthew Lillard is in it.
Oh.
And Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, is it like a reunion from She's All That?
And it's based on a video game.
Wow, okay.
But at some point, I guess maybe Freddie, or maybe it's Matthew Lillard, because anyway, there's a breach in the hull. And he's like tying it around himself. And then afterwards, he's all like, blah, blah, fucked up. And I always remember that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember about that movie.
Wow.
Knew she would have come back in if it wasn't for me. No. She knew what she was doing. No, I should have been watching her back.
Medic! But it always reminded me of this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would think certainly like that leather was not like a back brace. It was not wide.
Right.
So I would assume, it would be at least some bruising, but also more of like the unreasonable thing.
They're just holding on.
Well, I mean, it's, they were attached loops.
These pipes must go 30 feet deep.
Sure, fine. I can somewhat let that go. They're in a mile-wide tornado of extremely black, just dirt and debris.
Oh, and they're like...
Everything is like flying around. There's been wood and corn
They
and
don't
whatever.
get impaled by anything.
Anything.
Maybe in the center it's the safest, because
Well,
everything's
that
on the
makes
outside.
sense. Sure, but it traveled through
This movie makes sense.
not a flaw in the logic
Not
anywhere.
one. I do want to talk briefly about the score.
Okay, yeah. Oh my God.
Because it is all over the place.
Yes.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a family, 90s comedy.
Yep.
Sometimes it's very intense metal guitar.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just dun 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 dun.
Yeah, exactly.
Hans
There's
Zimmer.
like a Hans Zimmer-esque kind of John Williams, They Wish, like theme of like the No.
Oh, well, that was good though.
No.
Like I think
the
that
twister's
was...
coming. It was almost Jaws-esque.
Yeah,
you know what I
was
mean?
like,
but it's like if we had to make Jaws for a twister, what do we do?
It was good.
It was good.
I like that a lot.
It was evocative.
It was evocative. It was an interesting score because it had so many facets.
Yes.
So the composer was Mark Mancina.
Right.
Who, it turns out.
No, and I just have to take some credit for this because when I saw that name, I was like, oh, we've seen that name before.
Yeah.
He's done some things.
Something. Well, it turns out, I mean, it's not like an Alan Silvestri situation where you're like,
holy shit, he scored my entire childhood.
But he did, in fact, do the score for Speed 2.
Okay.
Cruise Control.
Oh my God. Sequel's better than the original?
No. Except Willem Dafoe's face. But that's it. Bad Boys, Con Air. So like a bunch of these big macho-y whatever. But then like a series of very specific bad movies that I related to. He did Man of the House.
A bad movie?
Yes.
Probably.
Monkey Trouble with Thor Birch. That like...
Oh, you showed me the picture.
Not Andre, not quite Dunstan Jackson. It's Monkey Trouble. He did the score for Fair Game, which is one of my, I would say, like top 5 favorite bad movies. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And arguably the best episode of Mystery Science Theater, he did the score for Space Mutiny, guys. We can just pack it up right here.
Yeah. Wow.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and also the soundtrack of this movie is bonkers and all over the place. We got Alanis Morissette, and then we end with the title.
Tori Amos.
Tori Amos, excuse me.
Tori Amos, excuse me. Personally picked by Jan de Bont because he liked her.
Wow.
There's more depth to him than I thought.
Well, but I also did appreciate, because like a lot of the soundtrack was diegetic.
Yes.
It's the wonder of nature, baby!
And so it was supposed to give us a glimpse, and it was all over the place because it was different characters.
Yeah, different characters singing different things.
You have Philip Seymour Hoffman playing shit out of his little speaker
right,
on his
like
band.
Rock music. He's playing Eric Clapton. They're singing Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like it's all happening.
Over. Yeah.
But then over the credits,
oh my God,
there's like. It sounds like it's Wild Stallions, like it's Bill and Ted, and they've solved, world issues, and they.
I mean, didn't they?
They brought peace to the universe, right? Yeah. And it's just like wailing guitar, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And it turns out it's a Van Halen song.
It also felt, and I don't know, maybe it felt a little Top Gun-y.
Sure. Felt very 80s.
Yes.
Even though it's 96, it felt very 80s.
Yeah. But like 80s action.
Whammy bar, to me,
exactly.
is 80s.
Yes, there you go. It's very true.
So anyway, yes, it was so fun to rewatch Twister.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a ton to say because I was just watching it.
Just enjoying.
Just having a great time. I do really like a lot about it. A lot of it works. I think it pretty much holds up.
Yeah.
There's like a few shots that look stupid.
What we should bring up.
Yeah.
63 on Rotten Tomatoes. 58 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I feel like this is the most realistic of the big disaster movies that came out in this, you know what I mean? Like I feel like this is grounded in more of a reality than Armageddon, Deep Impact, Volcano, Dante's Peak. Like all of those are
Jurassic Park.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park isn't dumb.
No, it's not dumb.
And that's not a big disaster movie. I mean, it is slightly, but
it's not the same. This isn't a big disaster movie either, though.
I mean, it's big special effects, big budget disaster movie.
Yes, but it's not like Volcano where fucking we
gotta
divert the
That's what I'm
lava
saying.
flow.
I can't believe that
it's not 2012 or what's
2012?
Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of his house?
No.
Insane.
Should I be
We'll
scared?
post them here.
Should
There's like a statue of like Mao. It was weird.
Okay. Well, on that note.
Yep. So cheers,
Cheers to
God
Helen
of Biscuits. And
Hunt.
yes, honestly.
And Jami Gertz.
Yeah.
Cheers. And to Jeff the God of Biscuits.
Jeff, the God of Biscuits.